Here we go, August's voted thematic list build. Thank you all for placing your votes, but favor has fallen to the noisiest Chaos Space Marine Legion. This one is for the 3rd Legion, the Seekers of Perfection, the Slaves to Excess, a thematic list build for the Emperor's Children. The Chaos Space Marines subfaction rules are classified as Legion traits, and the Emperor's Children's Legion trait is Flawless Perfection. And wowee, the Sons of Fulgrim really come out of the new codex well. Their new Legion trait's 2 perks allows them to ignore all hit roll, weapon skill, and ballistic skill modifiers. So they won't care about enemy units popping smoke or melee defensive abilities which impact their weapon skill. This also extends to their own unwieldy weapons. So weapons like Power Fists and Thunderhammers can be used without their typical accuracy trade-off. And their 2nd perk allows wound rolls of 6 on any attack to have an increased point of AP, which is simply a nice quality of life perk to have. And to top it off, the Emperor's Children didn't lose access to their old trait, as now that is what the Mark of Slaanesh gives you, which Emperor's Children units must take as their mark. This pairs well with the Icon of Chaos's mark benefit for the Mark of Slaanesh, which is a +1 to hit in melee. Though, as mentioned in my Codex review video, the limitations of which units can take marks and icons leaves much to be desired. Overall, I rate these perks as strong. When it comes to hitting their targets, the warriors of the 3rd Legion will never have to worry about probability further skewing against them than it otherwise would. Anything possessing a mark will have the fight first rule, keeping them in control during multi-combat engagements, and those units with icons will hit better on top of not having their hits negatively modified, and their trait provides them with a bump of AP for rolling the Dark Prince's sacred number. Regarding the thematic objectives of the list, they are: Time to get loud, to field the noisy thematic cult marines the Emperor's Children are famous for, and Attention Duelists, to field superlative warrior units which leverage the Emperor's Children's toolset and speak to their martial supremacy. Now, let's head over to the list breakdown. The list is structured as a battalion. Let's begin with our troop slots, which are filled of course by 3 squads of Noise Marines. Each squad is 6 strong, all equipped in the same format, that being 4 Marines with Sonic Blasters, the champion taking a Sonic Blaster and a Chainsword, and 1 Marine taking a Blastmaster. Now, since Noise Marines are a shooting unit, they don't make exceptional use of the Mark of Slaanesh or the Chaos Icon, but they do make good use of the Flawless Perfection trait since it's generally an all-around useful trait to have. Where Noise Marines stand out is in their gear. Sonic Blasters have the range of bolt guns, are assault instead of rapid fire 3 shots instead of 1 to 2, have built-in AP 1, and benefit from the Sonic Weapon ability, increasing damage by 1 when within half range. And the Blastmaster has 2 profiles, providing good utility, with the single frequency profile making last cannons green with jealousy. As for stratagem support, the Noise Marine can make use of excruciating frequencies to deal some cheeky mortal wounds, and turn off Overwatch and set to defense, which is a nice ace to have up your sleeve. Complementing those noisy boys are 2 Hellbrutes with Power Scourges and Multi-Meltas. Now, I would much prefer these to be Sonic Dreadnoughts for obvious reasons, but due to the poor standard Games Workshop manages the rules of their game, the Sonic Dreadnought is a Legends option and has not been updated to be consistent with the new ruling. So you can either work out some house rules for the profiles or just proxy, like I have done here. Now we can start moving on to the nodes of this list, starting with the Terminator node. The first of which is a chunky block of 10 Chaos Terminators, with the champion holding the Black Rune of Damnation. This is the standard foundation of pretty much any Chaos Space Marine list. 30 Armor of Contempt Terminator wounds, with any attacks having to subtract 1 from their wound rolls, plus a bit of psychic punishment, dice permitting. The play is to put them onto a vital location, as determined by the mission, and just have them be tough to shift, which is going to be further bolstered by units further down in our list. Hanging out with these Terminators is the warlord of this list, Lucius the Eternal, who is an absolute duelist. 5 attacks hitting on 2s at strength 5 with AP 3 dealing 2 damage. This is bolstered by his abilities. Duelist's Pride gives him 3 extra attacks and increases the damage of all his attacks by 1 if he is attacking a unit with a weapon skill of 3+ or better. His Lash of Torment ability allows him to force an enemy unit in engagement range to activate after all of your units. This is a powerful ability, especially so when combined with the Mark of Slaanesh, making Lucius a powerful combat mitigator via heroic interventions, the distance of which can be further bolstered by the Emperor's Children's stratagem, Incessant Disdain. And to punch him up even more, he's been given his Warlord trait Flawless Duelist, giving him full hit rerolls, which in itself isn't amazing, as he will always be hitting on 2s, but the second perk reduces the attacks of enemy models and units that are within his engagement range. Our next HQ supporting the Terminators is a Master of Possession, taken with the powers Mutated Invigoration, which can allow him to improve the strength or toughness of our Terminator block, and Pact of Flesh, which when used on our Terminator unit will allow him to restore D3 wounds to one model and bring back one Terminator base with its full wounds, the value of which is pretty excessive. And since he has marked Slaanesh, he also knows the power Delightful Agonies, which can give that Terminator block a 5-up Feel No Pain if it's suitable. And the last HQ of the list, which can also support the Terminators, or hang out in your backfield, is a Dark Apostle. The prayer he knows is Illusory Supplication, granting a unit within 6 inches a buff which causes enemy hit rolls of 1 to 3 to always fail. On top of that, being Slaanesh gives him the Blissful Devotion Prayer, which is a great utility boon as it affords you the luxury to give any of your marked units the ability to advance and then charge. That brings us to our second node, which I like to think of as the Caravan of Champions. The Caravan is a Rhino with a Havoc Launcher. The Champions are a unit of 5 Chosen. The Chosen are a melee unit in my eyes due to the bizarre combi weapon restrictions they must follow. Their war gear options are fairly stock, with the exception of the Champion having 2 accursed weapons, and an icon so they can benefit from Mark of Slaanesh's bonus to hit in melee. And accompanying the Chosen, which also brings them up to an even 6, is a Master of Executions. He operates in a similar manner to Lucius. He has a built-in heroic intervention of 6 inches, and his Trophy Taker ability lets him reroll wound rolls against characters. And offensively, he's got 6 attacks, always hitting on 2s, at strength 7 with AP 3 dealing 2 damage, with any hit roll of 6 dealing an immediate 2 mortal wounds instead of having to pass all of the other tests. This works nicely with the stratagem Murderous Perfection, allowing you to change one of his hit rolls, wound rolls, or damage rolls to a 6, which also ties into Wontons as well. He has been given the relic, the Intoxicating Elixir, which he can drink at the start of the fight phase, giving him D3 attacks, but more importantly, it limits the wounds he can suffer in that fight phase to 3, making his heroic interventions all the more troubling for your enemies. Rounding out the last 2 units of this list are 2 units of Chaos Bikers. Both are formatted identically. Each squad is 3 strong, taken with icons, and the champions taking Power Fists. Their job is to reach out and harass units with their greater mobility. If benefiting from the Apostle's Blissful Devotion, they will be able to advance 20 inches thanks to Turbo Boost and still charge. And they can also take advantage of the Emperor's Children's stratagem, Honor the Prince, allowing an Emperor's Children's core unit to charge D6 plus 6, which certainly makes their job that much easier. And that's the list, clocking in at 1998 points. I like this list quite a bit. In fact, it is tempting me to put that Age of Darkness box to use. As for the list itself, it hits the thematic marks and is looking quite capable. In fact, the Emperor's Children's toolkit is quite versatile considering how much efficiency it holds. And it enables the Emperor's Children to be the versatile exemplars they strive to be. That's a wrap on this Emperor's Children thematic list build. Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons, Julius Maximus, as well as the others who help keep the dream alive, and who populate the nominations for thematic list builds. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them down below. Anyways, there are buttons for liking, sharing, and subscribing, so press the buttons you want to press, and I'll catch you in the next one.